Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis on server 68. So today we're going to talk about preparing for Chalons. So this is round 3, Battle of Chalons. First thing you should do is look at your matchup. So we have what appears to be a tougher matchup, right? We are one of the top ranked teams in Chalons. We're having a very good season so far. We're in 3rd place there. Can't find where these other two alliances are. We do know who they are, or the 125 billion one. We're not sure who the other two are, I don't think. So knowing just their power, it's going to be a better matchup. So first things that you have to consider going into this, I'll just join some rallies as we do this, but the main things are having your presets ready and going from there, and then of course choosing what buffs you're going to use in the battlefield. And there we are. So this is a better opponent, right? Or a 125 billion, very large. And even if you think you're going to win, even if you're not, you have to consider that when your troops attack, troops die, and you want them to stay alive so you can get as many kills as you want. So I'm definitely going to be using one of my 30% attacks. I might even use one of the 50% for the first 10 or 20 minutes. Use those for the attack and defense, but I'll definitely be putting on 30%ers, not 20%ers, because every little bit helps. If you can push that almost tie where you're losing 50% of your troops into an easy victory for your team, and 80% of your troops come home, that's a whole extra march. Now, speaking of marches, I have my presets ready. So what I do all week, basically, I hide my top generals like Tamiris. I put her on the market, and that helps me when I rally. She doesn't come up. So now what I do is I take them off, and then I throw them all onto my presets. So I have Tamiris. I've done my Archer preset. We'll just go down. We can look at them all. Basically, I just have 55 troops at every level until I get into my attacking levels. You can start to see at T8, I start to add 5,000, then 50,000. Then I go up higher and higher. I'm still in the frame of T12 is the best troop, or at least my marches are in that. I don't necessarily think that anymore. I've seen a lot of evidence that T13s are doing a lot more, and I've started to increase the amount of 13s I have. So I have them equal to my 12s now, 600,000 each. I don't have enough 14s to make that a higher number yet. I would like to, but I don't have enough. And then what would happen is I'd run out of 14s after a couple attacks, and then it would start to screw up my marches. So you do have to consider that. Even if it's not the ideal march setup that people are recommending, you have to make sure that you're going to be allowed to do multiple marches. So my ground march is set with Elise, and same thing, this one especially for ground, I really should be having more 14s than 13s and 12s in the march, but I just don't have enough. So this month I did add about 500,000 T14 ground, but it's still not enough. I have to get this number up to about 4 or 5 million, because they're going to die when they attack. And then horses, exact same thing. I should have higher levels, and I do have the amount. So as you can see, I have over 800,000 T14 horse in that march. And then 500,000 T13s. And actually, as I'm talking to you, that is a screwed up march, because I have troops out killing Vikings right now. So they just returned. Let's take a look at that again. That was that. So that's a perfect example of how a march can be screwed up when you're missing troops in the attack. So it should actually only be 600,000 T14s, 540,000 T13, 450,000 12s, and 225,000 11s, and then less as we go down. But what happened there, I had all my 12s out attacking. I had all my 2 million of my 14s were out, and all my 11s were out. So the march knows that it's horses, and it starts to recalibrate based on percentages, but it goes from the top down. So what you saw there was it messed up my march to the point where I had 800,000 14s in there, and then if that's a failed march and I come back with 0, then I'm completely out of whack. So that's why you have to notice. You have to keep in mind that you want to keep a good black portion here on the right more than the green. You can't have over 50% of your troops in a single march, because if they die, your next march is messed up. So then I have a T11 siege up. I send 1.3 million in them. And then I kind of crowd them with 200,000 12s and 200,000 10s, because I just don't have enough 11s. I do feel this is something I'm working on and something I'd like to have more. I have about 4.5 million, I think it is, and I'd like to have about 8 million. Then I can actually start to up this up more towards 1.5, 1.6 million T11s in that march. And then the first march, I just have one troop. It's just, I use it to maybe tap a building, or I can use it to reinforce. I can easily just click a general and then go in here and be like, hey, I'm going to send that guy 1.4 million ground troops for reinforcement, something like that. If I'm not going to send an actual ground march in order to reinforce. And basically, that is, now I got to make sure that I'm not messing that up when I'm doing rallies right now, because I have my presets on. So make sure this is something that I do also. I was looting the other day and I accidentally left my presets and I smashed a bunch of my siege. And you can see I still got a bunch still in here. So in the video where I said I was going to fake 4.1 billion power, as you can see, I healed some in the Holy Palace and Hospital, and now I am at 4.06. And I probably do have another, I don't know, 15 million, 20 million power in there ready to come out of the Holy Palace. But I don't feel like using horns, because horns, this is funny actually. I used to never value these at all, and now I really do value them, because doing regular server PvP, it does get to you, and you do need them. Now, the other thing that you have to make sure that you have set for Chalons is your Monarch talent. So I have all mine set, but I like to do this before every single battlefield. I like to just run through them, click on them all, make sure that they all work, because especially sometimes if you compose an item and you get a new level, it'll mess up the setting that you have. So I like to just look through them all quickly and make sure that I have them all there and that they are all set. And that couple level 8s on Ares gear, that should be solved on Thursday. If we have a fortunate battlefield today and we get ahead and I have time, or on Thursday, non-event day, I will run through my Wheel of Fortune, and I've amassed a lot here. Way too many. I don't like letting it get this high, but I've just been with Hydras and Vikings the last 2 weeks, and the last event didn't have a non-event day, so I didn't get a chance to go in there. I should get tons of Monarch gear in there and hopefully bump those up to level 9. So that's pretty much how I get ready for any battlefield, and this is Chalons. So those are the tips I have for you guys. Other than that, basically just make sure your wall general's on there. I always have them on there. I no longer do Shajar, and I don't have to change ever. I did upgrade some of his stats actually, so I'm looking forward to seeing if I do get hit, just to see. I should now be, I don't know, 1250 higher siege attack on defense. I took off all the range attack that I had there. I ended up getting 2 decent grounds and just kept them. And I didn't worry about getting too perfect, too close to 25, because I am expecting a defense gear to come out. So I didn't want to go through too many refines doing that. But if you do have Shajar, make sure you put your real wall general on and you gear them up. And that's basically it. So that's how I get ready for Chalons. Let me know in the comments if you guys do. Evony's been asking me to do live streams for Chalons, so I'm waiting to hear back from them. I asked a couple questions about the compensation they were giving, because they kind of said it was negotiable. So we'll see. And then if it does sound worthy, I'll have to ask some people in my alliance, the leadership, and see what they think on that. So hopefully maybe I can start to show you guys some stuff like that. But if not, I'll just tell you the stories, and you'll have to believe me that they're true. Anyways, this is Genghis, server 68. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.